Oops. Hi, everybody. We are starting our art journaling today, and what we are doing today is an art journal that's a collage. So we've started off using a magazine,
It's my big one,
or paper or whatever you've got, and looking through it to select an image that you might want to start with. So picking something that you really, that draws you in and that you might want to start with. I'm using a magazine called Frankie, which has a lot of nice little pictures in it. So, and I've selected this little dog in a coffee cup with a love heart. And what I've done is I've just glued it onto my page, and I've started using the oil pastels, so water soluble oil pastels, to just do some rough colors on the background. So I've just done that as a first layer, and then I'm just now adding with my stencil another little layer. So I'm just using the white gesso to do a little bit of a stenciled layer just up in that top corner. So we'll keep going. And the other thing I've got today to use, which is what one of the prompts was in the previous, one of our previous days, is I've got the Chucks. So I've got the Chucks Super Wipe. I've got some bubble wrap. I have got, what else do I have? I've got a feather. So I picked up a feather. Well, this is one in my art supply, but just a brown feather, which I may or may not use. I'm also using just some paint, pink and yellow. So we'll see how that looks. I also just have this little roller, so a little paint roller, which is a bit yuck on that bit, but just a paint roller. I've also got some texters, some jewel tip markers. Some of you may have those, or some texters, and we'll just see what comes out. So here we go. Now, because I've got a little bit of that white still on my brush, I'm just going to use that to rub, because all of these little layers that we have create like sort of something nice on the page.
oh no, oops.
Okay. That light's a little bit. All right. this bit here, I'm just going to use this little cutout now just to stick on this edge here down the bottom. Too much glue. So to stick that on. So again, just about getting some layers in. So we're just starting to kind of create the picture. So even though, you know, you start with this background and it looks a bit not so great, we just keep adding to it. So we're just using this focal point image here as our focus, and then kind of continuing on from there. It's a little bit hard to see. This light's not so great. All right, now I'm going to use a little bit of paint, and I'm going to be super daring and I'm going to just squeeze it straight onto my page in a few little places. So I'm just putting the pink on the bottom, and I'm just going to put the yellow up the top, and we'll see what comes out. And as each layer dries, you can kind of just really keep adding to this, you know, for however long you really feel like it. I might take this up here into a bit of a line. And then the yellow has gone a little bit sort of across that way, so we might just keep doing that in an acrossways line. And then maybe adding a few more down here. All right. So we're sort of just getting the layers together. I'm going to use this big brush again, and I'm going to pop some white just on the edge of this layer here and just drag that down a little bit, just to sort of give that a little bit of interest, just to sort of soften that edge off a little bit. So I have just found also a really cute image in this magazine, which I'm going to use. It's just a little bunch of flowers. How's everybody going with theirs so far? All good? Are you letting go of the control of trying to create something amazing and just going for it?
Yep.
Excellent.
My background is testament to that.
What was that? Your background is what? Testing you?
Testament to letting go.
Good. Excellent. 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 All right. So I've just found this little cute flower picture. So I'm going to use that. And I'm going to just stick that up in the corner up here. So mine's a little bit, I haven't really kind of got a plan for mine yet. I'm just sort of really just letting the layers kind of come together and we'll see what happens. So it's looking kind of cute though with my little dog. Now, I've also found a little saying in this magazine, which I'm going to also cut out because I kind of like what it says. Okay. Oops. So this says, forgive me for getting a little sentimental, won't you? So I'm going to stick that on there. Okay. So a little bit of a word there. And maybe my little puppy passed away just at the end of last year. So maybe I'm getting a little sentimental, picking a little dog with a coffee cup. Maybe, I don't know. Oh,
That makes me sad.
yeah, he was very beautiful. He didn't look like that. He was a white little fluffy thing, but anyway, and I like coffee, so
Always works.
it always does. All right, so just looking through. All right, so maybe like a little bit of bubble wrap. I don't know if you've got this, but I'm going to show you what this sort of does. So I'm just going to cut just a small, actually, I'm going to cut it into a circle. Might create some little flowers with this maybe. Let's see what comes out. All right. So I've just cut that bubble wrap just into a circle, sort of not too big. So it's about the size of the palm of my hand. And because my colours are quite light on the background, I'm going to pick a little bit of a stronger colour. So I might go with maybe like a purple. Maybe go with a purple. It's not a super dark purple. It's a lighter purple, like a lilac. So I'm going to go with that purple. So all we do here is I just squirt a little bit of the paint on straight onto the bubble wrap. So like that. And then just using your brush, I just sort of brush that across. So you can see there, I'm just sort of blending that purple and pink together just to give it a little bit of color contrast. And then I might add, I've got this white gesso here. I might just add a few little blobs of that as well into that. Just let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to just get this and stick it down and see what happens. So we've got that one little flower there. We can do something with that. And then because I've got a lot of paint on this, I'm just going to go another little layer over here. And then maybe another one up here somewhere, just to get rid of the rest of that paint. And maybe just a little blob down there. So you can just sort of have a little play with this as you go along. Okay, that was super messy. So you can see here how my little layers are starting to like build. So I've got these nice little dots or blobs in this sort of circular. Here I just sort of went up a little bit further into that little flower. Now, I want to outline this cup a little bit. So I'm just going to use the black just to go through onto this outline. It's not a color I normally would use, but just to emphasize my little image that I created at the beginning, my little cutout. I want him to be a little bit defined. And I might just soften those edges off a little bit with the water. Now I ended up with this little feather. I'm just working out if I can pop this in somewhere or whether that's a little bit too much stuff happening in it, but we'll see. I might do that. Now the other thing that I've got is this is the stupidest thing you've ever seen, but it's one of those little slinkies, like it's a little kid's slinky toy. I'm actually going to use this. I'm going to dunk it in paint to give me some little circles, because it's like a really small sort of circular shape. You could kind of use anything. So I've got like these little round containers, which I've used in the past. So to dunk in paint to create some little circles, but this one's quite small. So I'm actually going to use this one. Now I'm just going to grab something to put some paint on. I'm going to do this in green, just to give it a little bit of an extra colour pop. So I'm just spreading my paint out and I'm just going to pop that in. Oops, it didn't get fully covered. So just popping my little thing in, and I'm just going to start and plonk it down onto the page in a few places. So you can see there where the little circles have come on. Let's do that again. Maybe up the top here. So it's all about really just creating interest on your page. The other thing you can use too, which is a really good tool, I know, don't hate me, mums, if your kids do this, but you can use a fork. You could actually use a plastic fork. So you can throw it away if you want to. And I'll just see if I've got a plastic fork here. I think I might have. Oh, I've actually got, I don't have a plastic fork, but I've got this knife, so a little bamboo knife. So I'm going to use this just to create a few other little shapes. So I'm just putting paint just on the edge of that knife. And I'm going to do some little lines because I want to turn these little things here into flowers where I did my little circle of bubble wrap. I'm going to turn those into little bushes. So just some little straight lines going down there. And then maybe one down here. This one might go down to the bottom of the page, like that. So we end up with a few little bushes. And I might even add another one. They look like hydrangeas a little bit. I kind of like hydrangeas. I know my mum's going to watch this later, so I know she's got hydrangeas growing in her garden. Here's a good way to draw hydrangeas with the bubble wrap.
Mhm.
You could do this in all the different colours because I know they come in, you know, whites and pinks, blues and whites and all sorts of little random colours. I can hear a voice now saying, yes, they do.
My mum was giving me a lecture about it. It all depends on the acidity of the soil.
Yeah, that's right. I think if you put like, I don't know, I can't remember now, but you put tea bags in the soil or something, or coffee grounds, or I don't know. I can't think of what it is, but I know when my mum watches this, she'll tell me. I'll give you the tip, right? I'm sure there's something that you put in the soil that does change the color of it. All right, I'm going with another one up here. Oh, I kind of like the look of these, to be honest, the way that they're coming out. They're really cute. Maybe another one down here, another little layer off the page. Lots of paint on that. All right, there we go. Now, this is the good thing if you've got kids. I don't know if you guys have got kids or if you know kids. You know, sometimes kids might have paint, but they don't have any like brushes or tools to use, but you can pretty much use like anything as a painting tool. So the other really good thing that you can use also is like a pipe cleaner. So, you know, if you've got some little like pipe cleanery things at home, you can use those to paint with. So just to give you like a little bit of texture. So you can add a little bit of that and, you know, just drag it through and see what comes out. See what sort of shape comes out, what sort of line comes out. It's just another little idea there. But see, as you can see, like my painting's starting to come, or my journal is starting to really come together, and it's quite cute, like a little bit flowery, a little bit hydrangea with all the little
chaos.
What's that?
Mine's just chaos.
Let's have a look, Larissa, and I'll have a look.
So far.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hang on. I've got to turn off the. How do I do the thing? Oh, God. No.
In the video down the bottom, you can just turn off your background.
Background. Where is none?
Oh, that's all right.
Oh, wait, I need to scroll. Okay. There.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That looks good. I like that.
Yeah.
Tessa, how are you going with yours? Can I have a look? Ooh, nice. Is that a leaf? Like, is that a real leaf up the top?
It is, yes.
Beautiful. Yeah, I like it. It looks very...
Bag, like those bags in the supermarket you get with fruits in it.
Yep.
It's a piece of that over. I just super glue to stick it over.
Beautiful. Looks great.
Thank you.
Yen, how are you going with yours, my darling?
I'm just putting on the text.
Good. Let's have a look.
5 minutes, just
5 minutes. Okay. Karina, how are you going with yours so far?
Where are we? So mine's just a bit of a crazy look at Camden Bypass this morning.
Oh,
Still going.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good
Between
one.
the sea of the water and the sea of the red lights.
Mhm.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Marita, how are you going?
Oh, no, don't fall.
Like I said, I'm a bit unprepared. So
No, that's okay.
I've got crayons and pencils, and I've basically been playing around with them.
Beautiful. Yeah,
Mm.
lovely. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm traveling at the moment. So I've grabbed some of my niece's wax crayons and colored pencils.
Yeah, lovely.
I don't have my usual art studio with my pictures and paints and
Oh,
everything. So
yeah. Where are you based at?
at the moment I'm in French's Forest, just
Right.
outside Sydney.
Yeah.
So at my brother's house. So yeah, I'm using what I've got here.
Yeah, that's good. And where are you normally from? Like where your studio is?
Yeah, I'm normally from South Africa.
Yep.
So it's a bit difficult to have a whole suitcase of paints and everything traveling with that.
Yeah. Is that where you live in? Do you live in South Africa normally?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Oh, great. And do you run art classes there or an art studio, or what do you have there?
No, it's not. It's basically a hobby of mine.
Right.
So I'm actually a web designer, graphic designer.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, so more electronic art is my work. But love getting creative and yes, all that. So
excellent. Well, I'm glad you could join today. It's amazing.
Mm.
I've got it every Friday for the month of April, so you can come along every week if you want to.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely, and next time I'll be a bit more prepared.
No, that's fine. And you can join the group. I'm doing the recordings, so as I've just forgot to record at the beginning, but I did a little quick blurb. But I'm posting the recordings in the group as well. So if you can't make it and you miss it, you can always come back and watch later on.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah. So I think the good thing about this type of art is just the freedom of like not stressing too much about what you're actually doing. Is you just sort of really letting go and just sort of having a little bit of fun and just, seeing what comes out. That's the good thing about this sort of arting. I'm adding some more dots to mine now with my little slinky thing. I'll have to wash it in a minute. It's very messy. So just down the side, and I might add a few more over here. So sort of the more layers you go, you know, the more interesting it becomes. My fingers are getting very messy.
Oh, bugger.
And where I did originally that little mandala in the center there, I'm just going to trace a few of those lines out as well with a little marker. So just add a little bit to that. Okay, so that's looking really good. And my brain's screaming at me a little because I'm doing this upside down. It's a bit. It's an interesting view on it, though, that's for sure. All right. So I've just added another little cutout there. Make time for yourself. It's quite an important message, I think, for the moment. And then I'm just using that knife to add a few more little marks on the edge there, just with the rest of that paint, just around the edges. A little bit of interest. Maybe a few more little lines in here. I guess the thing is, like, even though you're layering, like you don't want to sort of overdo it as well. So you've got to kind of get to that point where you go, okay, that's enough. You end up with like too many layers. So it's sort of that, you know, fine line between, is that enough or not enough? But I kind of feel like with all of the little bits that I've got going on mine, I'm probably just about finished. You know, little bits here and there are kind of cool. I like the green pops though. I think that really just looks nice. They sort of look a little bit like leaves almost, maybe poking through these little flowers. And being on the knife, I kind of can't control the shape either, which is, you know, one of the things that, you know, I talk about sometimes the penny perfection coming out. And it kills me some days, but we've just got to let go and let it all flow. So I think that looks kind of cool. I'm pretty happy with my design so far.
Oh, itty ones. I wonder if I can fit them on there.
Right. And what I may even do with this one is once this paint is all dry, so on these little circles here, on those little hydrangeas, when that's dry, I may even go in with a white paint pen and maybe just do some more little circles around that just to highlight those little shapes a bit more. I won't do it now because it's quite wet. I did mine really quite thick, so it'll just take a little bit to dry. But once that is dry, I'll take a photo and I'll pop it up in the group so you can have a look at what I've done on that ongoing. So yeah. So how's everybody going with theirs so far? Okay.
Oh, God, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Okay.
Has it been an enjoyable, relaxing morning for you? I guess more to the point.
Absolutely. Oh, there it is. This has been fun. So much fun.
Excellent. I know art journaling is really cool. I love it, actually. It's one of my most favorite things
Yeah,
to
the
do.
best thing about this one is so pretty. The best thing about this one is that, you know, I've collected so many things over the years. And
Yeah.
they're all sitting there. And I'm like, and as soon as you said that, you know, last week when we were, you're like, oh, we're doing a collage next week. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to pull out everything.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the good thing. You can kind of just use anything. And that's why if I showed you my actual desk, you'd probably have a fit. I won't show you that right now. I have so many little bits and pieces of things hanging around. You know, even I've got these little like elastic band things that somebody left here and I just bowerbird them all.
Would you like to see what I just added to mine?
Yeah, let's have a look.
I found them.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the blur. Hang on.
Uh-huh.
His googly eyes. I gave him googly
Oh,
eyes.
googly eyes. I love that. That's so great. I love that. I love that. So I'm just going to flip the camera back up again. Ooh, so you can see my face. And I'll just take it off this little stand thing. So, oops, hang on. I'll work this. Yeah, there we go. That's got it. Oops, sorry for the people watching at home. So that's our final one, which is really cool. So if you guys don't mind, I'll take a little snapshot, but I'll end the recording now. So for anybody watching at home, if you've drawn along or painted along or arted along, please share your images in the group. I'd love to see them. And I'll see you all next week.